How did England and Elliot Daly end up in this position? This was a fantastic game on Saturday night between France and England, with England finally break that curse and coming out on top. But how did this happen? How did they score that match-winning try? Let's have a look. This is a very simple move which we see a lot of at the elite level of the game. And I've just broken it down here so we see it from above. Instead of going to Finn Smith or Marcus Smith for the two playmakers, instead England first of all go to Ollie Lawrence. Now this is off a maul, so both England and France's pack are tied into that corner. That gives them loads of space to operate in. This isn't going to go to the playmakers though, because this is actually quite a simple pass. It's going to be what we call an X-ball. Ollie Lawrence is going to go out the back of Tommy Freeman, who's going to run this hard line. And he's going to go to Finn Smith. The reason why Finn Smith doesn't get his hands on the ball until this stage is because he's now got a decision to make. When the ball comes to him, he's got a few options. He can go himself. So if France have tied themselves in to that Ollie Lawrence and Freeman hard line, then there might be space for him to just carry straight. Instead, if they pack tight and there's no space in front of him, he might have to go all the way out to Marcus Smith in the middle of the pitch. Or what he ends up doing is along this lovely little looping line to Elliot Daly to break through. Very important here, and for any kids watching or coaches who are coaching young people, Elliot Daly's line here is absolutely brilliant, because what he does is he comes on that angle. He's hidden from play for as long as possible. As a defender, that's horrible to deal with because you don't know where he's going to pop up from. So he's hidden from play, and as he comes out, he straightens out his lung. He's still trying to get on the outside of Antoine Dupont, but he's straightening out his lung so he can get through. What we see a lot of at grassroots level, at youth level, is that when you're running that loop, you don't straighten up enough, so you just end up listing across the pitch. It's too easy to defend. If we now bring in the French defence, let's see how this impacts them. So Lawrence and Freeman tightening up those front three defenders. You can see here Dupont, he's drawn towards the ball, as he should be. This is his man, but as is everyone else, so they're all tightening up. And then when the ball's gone, it's too late. So Louis LB on this graphic is caught between, does he step in to help out and defend Daly, or does he stay out wide? If he steps in, the space is there for Marcus Smith. If he stays wide, well, we know exactly what happens. And this is a horrible position for the defender to be in. Step in, step out, who are you going to take? Even if you make the right decision, you're probably not going to be able to put that dominant hit on. So you might just be delaying the inevitable. But as we see here, Antoine Dupont tries to get around, but it's, as we see, it's too late. But this is not a particularly new move. This is something we see across so many different teams. So let's go across the sea and we go look at what Grenoble do. It's not exactly the same. We don't have that maul in the corner, but it's very similar. We see them go out the back. And now we've got this shape. And the key to this is simplicity. So from this position, there's almost unlimited options. So we've got the carry, just keeps all the ball, goes through the gap. We've got the tip-on pass to 14 here. We've got the pass out the back, the X-ball, as we saw earlier. One guy lungs hard, one guy lungs out the back. And that could then open up many other options. They could go wide, they could go back inside. So many options here in quite a simple attacking shape. This kind of square shape, very common. Instead, at the back, back inside, and through the hole for the wonderful try. Now, all that comes from is simplicity. None of those passes were longer than 2 meters, but the number of options means it's almost impossible to defend because you don't know who you're going to go for, and by the time they show you their hand, it's too late and you can't make that tackle. Let's now look at Northampton, obviously a key part of that try on Saturday with Mitchell and Finn Smith involved. So they brought them all a little bit more infield. In fact, actually, this is a scrum, but they brought it a little bit more infield. But you're going to see a very similar shape. You've got a triangle, almost a square with the player out the back, and this creates so many options. So you see what they're going to do. Well, the ball, when it does come out, you tell me, what are we going to see here? There could be anything. He could carry, he could hit the short line, he could go out the back. There's space for all those options, and you've got these two guys out wide, holding their feet, willing for the ball to come out, because if it does come out, they fancy their chances out wide. But We don't know. What about now? Do we know what's going to happen? Still no idea. And you see Queens now have to commit because they're so close to the line. They have to commit to one option. They pick the wrong one, and it's a pretty easy try on the outside. But all that comes from is creating those options, showing the defence a multitude of different things and getting them to pick which one they fancy. Now let's look at this from Sale. Something a little bit different. They've gone for the carry, but it's not quite worked out. And this is a wonderful position to be in. Interestingly though, here, similar to Ollie Lawrence getting the ball in the first example, this is going to go to a forward, and then we're going to have our backs manoeuvring around him. So, out to a forward, we see this X line, remember, one hard, one out the back, and you can see that Elliot Daly lying out the back, the guy swooping round the corner. So what do we see? Out in the back on the X, and he's got so much space here, he's going to carry it under the posts. But even if he doesn't, if the outside defender steps in, it's an easy pass just to get out wide. What can the defence do here? Well, not a huge amount. The problem is they need to get off their line. But by getting off their line, they show exactly where the space is, because you can't really disguise it. So you get off the line, you put them under pressure, and you hope that by putting them under pressure, they pick the wrong option. But these international elite level sportsmen, they're not going to do that. Let's see this one final example. So here again, this is against Leicester, and we see that 4-person shape by Exeter. We've got the hard line, we've got the 10 going out the back, almost exactly what we saw from England, and we've got Ollie Woodburn swooping down the corner on that Elliot Daly line. Out the back, but this time it's going to go the miss pass to Woodburn. This makes it a little bit difficult because you can see here the defence have got up in his face. There's actually less space than we saw in the previous examples. What does he do? Well, he just keeps it alive. This is a thing that is a massive focus for so many coaches, is 2 touches. Can you get 2 touches on the ball? Look at this. Woodburn passes and then he stays alive, as do the inside attackers as well. So when the ball eventually comes back to him, he's perfectly in position to get down the corner, and then they get the try out wide here. So a couple of key takeaways from this. The first is, it's not about complexity. You don't need to be that complex with your attack. What you do need to do though, is you've got to make sure that you've got that shape, that simple shape, doesn't need to be very complex, but that simple shape where everybody is an option. Everyone should expect the ball. So you've got that simple shape, and then you run it at pace. If you're slow, it doesn't matter how complex or how neat your passing is, it's too easy for the defence to read. They can just bounce off one attacker onto the next one and make that tackle. So simple, done at pace, and you see those skills. Basic skills. We're not talking about 20-metre passes, 30-metre passes. We're talking about nailing those little pops, 2-3 metres. That's all you need to do. And if you do that right, good luck to any defence coach facing you. Thank you.